This video is all about appreciating your past trauma, your childhood trauma, past relationships that didn't go well, friendships, family, anything in your life that did not go well. This video is about how to appreciate the fact that you had problems. Why is this going to help you? That way you don't have to carry around emotional baggage everywhere you go, and you can start to let go, learn to let go, and start to really enjoy life more and not have all this stuff holding you back. Why should you appreciate the problems in your past? You know, this is like crazy, this is kind of crazy idea for a video. Why should you possibly appreciate it? And the first thing to really realize with this is that the more problems you had in your past, that's gonna make you a stronger person. I don't mean that in a cheesy way. I mean, literally sit down, think about it, write it down if you need to. All of the things that you overcame in your life, I'm talking to you right now, you specifically. Can you just imagine all the obstacles you had to overcome in your life to get here, and you're still here, you're still alive, you're still okay, you're still moving forward in your life? I mean, just really feel cheesy clapping, but you know, really just take a moment to appreciate that, and to every time you're feeling down, think about the worst thing that's ever happened to you, and just think about how you're still here and you survived it and you're still okay. And why should you appreciate that? How can you move on with this, just in a really non-superficial way? Once you fully embrace whatever happened to you in your past that's causing you whatever sort of emotional depression, anxiety issues you're having, once you start to fully embrace that, you can then start to realize that these things are showing you problems within yourself, problems that you may have with yourself. And bear with me on that one. Let me try to make it sound a little bit more pretty. We all have problems. Let me even name some of my own. You know, I have a lot of my own anxiety issues, emotional issues. I've only make all these videos that I've made because I've been through a lot of stuff, and I had to learn through a lot to grow through it. I had to learn how to meditate a lot, and you know, now I can teach other people how to meditate. But the beautiful thing about that is, if I didn't have a troubled childhood, troubled life, you know, past problems, past traumas, if I didn't have to learn how to meditate to help me overcome some of these issues, where would I be right now? And not talking about anything superficial, I'm talking about as a person. Because I went through that, I may possibly be a happier person than I would have ever been any other way. And that's really kind of what I'm trying to get to the point of this video, is that those things really had to make you an emotionally stronger person. It had to make you mentally tougher, physically tougher, emotionally tougher, any way you think about it. And I really want to ask you at this point to kind of really just take a moment really to assess what have you been through and what did you learn from it. And if that's troubling for you to even think about to do, just realize that every single thing that happens to you, not just watching an educational video, it could be watching a video just for entertainment. It could just be you walking down the street. Every single social interaction you have with another person, there's a lesson to be learned. And this is really, really how you get over past trauma, is to realize that every single thing happening, not even just your past, right now in the present moment, is teaching you something. If you go into a social interaction and you start having a lot of anxiety, you start getting nervous, well, now you're learning you have social anxiety and nervousness issues to deal with. You see where I'm going with this? If you had past trauma where you felt in a social situation that you felt maybe you felt really outcasted is a way, perhaps in a relationship you feel like someone just kind of tossed you aside, And or is it a real example, like you was in a really deep loving relationship, you felt a really strong special connection with someone, and you feel like they just kind of threw you away? What are you really facing here? Are you really facing the fact that you feel upset that this person threw you away, in a sense, got rid of you, however you want to like phrase that? Or is the real issue here that you're afraid of being alone? Is that you're afraid of dying alone? Is that you're afraid of being by yourself, stuck with your own thoughts? Is the real issue, you got to really think about this. Maybe you've already come to this realization and it's easy for you to see this. So if you haven't come to this realization yet, you have to really sit down and kind of like analyze this by yourself, not with anyone else around. What are the real deeper issues that are holding you back in your life? And like I said, every single thing that happens in your life, every single social interaction is a learning opportunity for you. Anything you possibly do in your life, if you just kind of become really aware, you're like, oh, this situation is making me scared. This situation is giving me anxiety. This situation could be any kind of situation. This situation is making me sad. Well, first of all, if you bring awareness to that, maybe you can start addressing deeper inner issues that you have actually going on, and like trying to get like back on track here. Like I said, if you were in a relationship where you feel like you were abandoned, maybe the problem is not actually the fact that you love this person and you just wish you could be with this person. Maybe that has nothing to do with it. Maybe. I'm using a lot of maybes because I'm just trying to, this might be the truth, but I'm trying to just give you suggestions to just I want you to try to think about it. So possibly, maybe the real issue, like I said, is you're afraid of being abandoned. And to really get into this abandoned thing, all right, where does this like fear come from? Like kind of like really like, let's take it to the next step. Let's take it to the next level. Where does this fear of abandonment coming from? When we grew up in tribal times and we were in tribes of, I think maybe they say it's like 100 to 200 people, 150 people, kind of like snowballing there. You grew up in small tribes. You know, that's your country, that's your home, that's your family, those are your friends, that's everything to you. If you were socially outcast, I'm talking about evolution times, in the beginning of human times, when we first started learning social interaction instinctually, why you even have these emotions inside of you. If you really go back to when we were just in tribal times, if you were socially outcasted from the tribe, it basically means death. You'd be out in the forest by yourself, possibly killed by another animal, possibly killed by people. You're really gonna get some fight and flight right in you when you see an animal, because you don't have anyone to help protect you. You know, you don't have shelter anymore, you don't have food anymore, you don't have anyone to socialize, you don't have people with you anymore. And if you try to go into another tribe, other tribes were terrified. Today is not a thing anymore, but back then, I mean, you know, I guess now with coronavirus being a thing, it's kind of a thing, but really kind of bringing things up like that. If you go to another tribe, they don't accept you. This is just what I'm giving you from research. Obviously, I wasn't there, but this is what is believed. They won't accept you because they believe you're either going to bring disease, plagues, famine, or war. So once you're outcasted from a tribe, that's it. And what does your body do as a defense mechanism? It shuts you down, it shields you, it creates a different persona, it makes you act very protective. Maybe it changes your tone of voice in conversations, and it makes you be a little bit more low, a little bit more quiet. It makes you afraid to offend people. It makes you play your life really, really safe and not take any risks. When the problem with that is, even in the tribal time, going deep in that, the person who's in the tribe is being really, really nice to everyone because he's afraid to get kicked out. Well, guess what? If someone has to get kicked out, there's a good chance he's going to be the first one getting kicked out. That's why he's acting that nice. While the person who's the least likely to offend someone, he's not the least worried about offending someone is probably someone who has too much value to be kicked out of the tribe. So he's not worried about it at all. And bringing that into more modern times and the more relatability, you have to understand you're dealing with emotions instincts, impulses that have been genetically wired inside of your body for millions of years of evolution, very literally. And you have to understand that this isn't the time and age anymore. In school, try to think of a time where you felt traumatized in school, you felt socially outcasted. You know, you did something, the whole class laughed at you. You feel like it's the end of the world. You feel like you're gonna die. You're gonna get kicked out of the class, but it's just not the case anymore. So this is really where I'm trying to come into this video, where as you have to start to realize, forget the logical sense of it. Forget the, oh, you know, he did this to me, she did that to me. And start asking yourself on a deeper level, why does that hurt you? Why can't you move on? Yeah, you can sit there and be like, oh, but you know, he was really mean to me. He should have been a lot nicer, but you can't do that. The reason you can't do that is not gonna fix anything, is not gonna help you. The best thing you can do is to realize what is being triggered inside of you emotionally when you think about that situation. What thoughts are you having when that situation comes up? Why is this really important? Because once you let go of it and you deal with the real inner issues, when you can sit there and be alone and fully accept yourself, fully love yourself, fully embrace yourself, and not just sit there having a ton of anxiety, ton of depression that's bringing you down when you're alone, and you know, you're desperate for someone else, for some love and attention and approval for someone else. And B, so that when you get into, perhaps let's say it was a romantic relationship, it could be a friend to friend, word however you want. You want to think about it, oh, a situation that happened with your friends that hurt you, fine. I'm just going to say, but next time you get, I'm just going to use an example, next time you get into a romantic relationship, since you've already dealt with that issue, it's not going to be a problem again. Do you see how that works? Since you already dealt with that issue, it's not going to be a problem again. If the issue is you felt really abandoned from your last relationship, you know, you love that person, you did everything, and then they just left you with nothing, and now you have abandonment issues. Let's say you deal with those abandonment issues. Next time you get into a relationship, from the start of the relationship, you'll be a different person. From the very beginning of the relationship, you'll be ready to not be afraid of being abandoned. You'll be able to go through that relationship with if you deal with the issues, granted, you'll be able to go through that relationship with your head held high, not worried about making the same mistake, because you're just not afraid of abandonment anymore. If you feel like it's your friends that abandon you, if you deal with the actual deep inner abandonment issues that you have, see, the thing is, like, what does this mean? What does this really mean? And I'm trying to, like, this is all examples. You have to, like I said, I'm just trying to give you food for thought here, just trying to get you thinking. You need to really analyze your specific situation. I'm definitely willing to answer a question more related to a specific situation. Since this is not a specific question I'm giving, I'm just trying to give you general information that you gotta apply this to your situation. Maybe, like I said, you're with friends, right? And what's the real problem here? Like, let's look at examples here. Maybe you're with friends and you feel like you're worried that you feel like you're not cool enough, you feel like you're not funny enough, you're worried your friends don't like you, you feel like you're the loser of the group. Whatever your scenario is, I'm not saying this is you, whatever your scenario is, if you fix those issues, if you stop comparing yourself, as an example, to other people, that alone would fix a lot of those issues. If you stop worrying about what people think about you, would fix a lot of those issues. If you stop caring, worrying, comparing yourself to other people, what they think about you, if you just stop worrying and you deal with that deeper inner issue, you learn to be more okay with just being by yourself, you're not going to get a situation where you feel like people are going to take advantage of you, because the situation is just not there anymore. All right? Let's say, like I said, you're with your friends and you're worried you're not funny enough, right? What if you just stop worrying that you're not funny enough? Problem solved. And that sounds really, really simple, but I mean this in a much deeper sense. I don't mean like you just literally magically stop. in a deeper sense, maybe you go to your friends, you go to your family members, and you just kind of sit there and you're just okay with not being that funny anymore, which sounds, you know, however that sounds, it just really kind of stops the problems from happening again. And it's like, I guess, let me make this sound a little bit more clear. So, yeah, if you're in the relationship, the person can always leave you. Yes. They can always still leave you. Yes. They can always still leave you. Yes. You can always be abandoned again. Yes. You can always be abandoned again. You can always be abandoned again. Yes, yes, yes. Though, if you're not afraid of being abandoned, if you're not afraid of being alone, first off, they're going to be less likely to leave you because you are a lot more emotionally stable. You're a lot more present to the moment. You're going to be in a much better mood. So A, they're going to be a lot less likely to leave you. And B, if they did leave you, it won't destroy you anymore. It won't bring you down as much anymore. You'll be a lot more ready to just pick up yourself up, carry on, and move on with your life. And that's kind of really the whole like point of this video. And I just really had to stop and make this because I was just kind of feeling like a lot of this myself, where honestly I just came from a walk in the park. I was walking for like 3 hours, some music in the background, listening to some educational stuff, trying to just meditate, relax, trying to stop having so much anxiety, you know, and bad negative thoughts. And by the end of it, I just felt this really deep, overwhelming feeling that I felt good, that my life wasn't as good as I actually wanted it to be. And I felt this because first, I mean, obviously, I just accepted where I was in my life. That's real key. Accept where you are. Stop thinking, oh, you should be somewhere else. You should be doing something else. You can still try to aspire. Is that the right word? You can still try to desire. You can still, in a sense, strive. That's the word I'm going to use. You can strive for a more successful life. You can strive to do more with your life and to be in other places. Though, if you fully accept where you are now, it's not, this is, I'm going to kind of like jump on a point here. If you don't fully accept where you are, even when you get where you want to be, you won't be able to enjoy it because you can't enjoy where you are now. When you get there, you're just going to be looking for the next thing that you want, because that's the mindset that you have. If you deal with the mindset that you have originally, then when you get there, you'll be able to actually enjoy it more. And the real whole point, me kind of want to wrap this up because I feel like this video has just been like definitely the most all over the place video I have made recently. I'm really just like got like so many different thoughts about this idea that I'm kind of just trying to like figure out how I want to get in here. So I know I'm all over the place. So yeah, like I was saying, is I really just felt this overwhelming sensation. And how did this come to me is because since I had trouble in my life, I've learned how to let go more, how to meditate, how to be more present to the moment, how to deal with anxiety better, how to deal with depression better, how to deal with emotional issues better. I've learned how to be more confident, how to speak with more confidence, how to carry myself better, you know, just everything in my life. I've learned how to socialize better. And all this came because I had a troubled life. And it's like, if I had naturally, just everything naturally worked out for me the way it should have, I'd only be at the natural level that I should be at. Like if everything naturally worked out the way I wanted to, I'd only naturally be exactly where I could naturally be. I wouldn't have the ability to be above that. Because everything didn't work out the way I wanted it to, I had to strive for more. And that's the same for you. You have to strive for more so you can get yourself, because you have this realization that you're down here, is you can also get yourself to be up here. You see the difference is like if things just naturally went the way it's supposed to go, your life could only be as good as it can naturally be because you never put any effort into making it better. So when you're putting life effort into making your life better, now you have a power, you have ability, you have the gift to make your life as good as it could possibly be, as enjoyable as it could possibly be, and you can be whatever you want to be. You can do whatever you want to do. It's just like another direction. Don't let anyone tell you you can't do anything that you want to do. Don't let anyone tell you can't be anything you want to be. You are the exact person who can do anything they want to do. And to even take that deeper, maybe not everyone can do everything they want to do. They can't be everything they want to be because their mind is too limited, it's too structured. Maybe everything worked well, but they always were just doing what everyone else did, you know? They were just happened to socialize well when they were younger. They just, you know, went to college. They just got that good job, you know? It's kind of rare these days for your life to just kind of really just work out and never really be a problem. Though, you see, you plateau at some point where your life's only you're only gonna do again what everyone else does. Maybe it was great all the way on here, but then what do? You just get married, you just have kids, and I mean, sure, that sounds nice, that sounds great. Though, chances are, you're just gonna marry someone just because they're there to be married at the right time and place. You're just gonna have kids with them. You're just gonna live where you can live. You're just gonna work where you can work. And you didn't really put that much thought into your life. You didn't put that much creativity into your life. And you don't actually have the real ability to create the life that you want to create yourself, because you just really, your life has always been given to you and you're just accepting the life you have. This has been a really rambly, all over the place video on how to appreciate having a troubled life. I think I hit a lot of good points. Definitely, if there's something you'd like me to hit on, anything you'd like me to touch up on, any personal question you'd like me to answer, anything at all, feel free to leave it in the comments. I'll definitely try to take a look and do my best to answer that. This has been Our World Shifted, and thank you for watching.